Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Hello everyone, I'm here with Dan, aka Mr. Smelly.
Hello.
And today we've got a review for you on SP Parfums and it's Fougere Intense.
Ooh.
So Dan is helping me with this review because it's definitely your genre of fragrance,
Yes.
isn't it?
I love Fougere fragrances, so
Yeah.
I'm always interested in anything with that in the name of it. So we've both worn it a fair bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we've given it a little bit of a trying out, and I've had it on some paper strips too. So yeah.
Yep, I've got it on my hand at the moment. You're wearing it at the moment, and I made some notes, and you made some mental notes.
I did.
And we're ready to go.
Yes.
So thank you to Sven for sending this to us for review.
Yep.
And he has got some notes on his website. He calls it a neo fougere. Can you explain what neo means?
It just means new. So if it's like it just means that not a typical fougere and some kind of new twist on a fougere, I guess.
Right.
So that
Okay.
yeah, basically.
Right, so it says it's a neo fougere with civet and amber booster, long-lasting aqua ultimo, lavender mossy freshness. Notes are bergamot, lime, lavender, patchouli, tonka, woody moss accord, jasmine, civet/amber, skin musks, but no animal products. So the any animal smells are from synthetics, which is good to know. So no animals are harmed in the making of this fragrance.
Okay.
Okay, so when I first spray it, I get a really icy blast of freshness. Like, to me, I've written down icy lavender.
Right.
Do you get that at all? Would you agree?
I wouldn't have picked up on iciness, not specifically, but I definitely picked up on it having a sort of a fresh, clean, reminiscent of shaving foam overall aura, but not a typical, not like Rive Gauche Pour Homme for men, not a really typical bog standard cliched fougere smell. So as always with SP Parfums, he's quite an artistic perfumer. A lot of his fragrances can be quite challenging or very different to mainstream. I definitely got that, but with some hints of familiar stuff. I didn't massively pick out on specific notes straight away. So like the lime and bergamot, of course they're in there, but I don't pick up on them. The one thing that I did pick up on a bit was the civet thing, which you get in things like Jicky by Guerlain, even Mouchoir de Mouchoir, and there was that kind of a combination of a powderiness with that slightly funky undertone of civet, which I think is a really nice note. I picked up on that a bit at the beginning.
What about the lavender? Because I feel like it's overdosed in lavender.
Really?
Really strong.
Okay.
I get a lot of lavender.
I got this kind of barbershop soapy fragrance vibe. I should be able to pick up on lavender because that's something I normally can pick out, but it didn't leap out.
We'll smell it now.
Yeah, on you, I could. I always think, because my mum often has lavender stuff in the house, so I smell it quite a lot. Now when I just smelled it on there, I can literally pick up on the lavender a bit. Yeah.
So to me, I get a really strong lavender with like a herbal green elements, and then this sort of smooth undertone of something very smooth and green, which could be the lime, maybe.
Yeah. Oh wow! On there, I get loads of lavender.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think it's really lavender strong. Yeah. The lavender is dustier on the paper.
Yeah, it definitely leaps out more
Almost
on
like
that bit
dried
of paper.
lavender that's almost sat in and gathered some dust.
That's what my mum has. There's a lot of dust. She's got like stuff with bags with little hearts with lavender in it.
Oh,
that
right.
you put on your So then that's really strong smell, and I get that, which I actually like that smell. But it's only one of the notes in here.
Yeah. I feel like the civet comes in fairly quickly. And as you said, that Jicky civet note, that slightly, I remember you tried Jicky a long time ago and you said it smelled a bit like a poopy nappy.
It can do, yeah.
I get that, but not as heavy as Jicky was. The slightly almost fecal civet is kept to a degree that's acceptable.
Yes.
And I think you get it when you do that, but if you're just wearing it, it's more blended with everything and it's not so hard to cope with if you're not into animalics.
I really like it on the paper here, actually. Yeah, it's really good. I think this is very much something that would appeal to people who like the old school type Fougeres, but as he says, it's very much a neo Fougere, so it's not going to be very, very similar to anything else that you've tried.
No.
Should we just mention, how much does it cost?
Okay, so 30 mils is €129.
Okay.
But you get free shipping worldwide, and he also gives you a travel spray, a 7.5 ml travel spray of your choice. I think that's good value. It's EDP, but it's definitely strong, isn't it?
All of his stuff tends to be strong,
really good, and lasting.
He's a German perfumer and very much an artisanal handmade. You know, you're paying for something that's made in very small batches, so it's not cheap, but it's reasonably accessible if you're into this kind of thing. Yeah, I think this one, we're doing a review now, but to really get to know it, we'd probably come back in a month or two if we find it still really interesting.
Yeah.
Before I could really feel I'd got to totally understand this and appreciate it.
I think when you get down into the wearing of it, once you get past what we've already described, you get Sven's signature patchouli. I haven't asked him, but I think he's using the same patchouli. He has this aged patchouli, which he uses in musk and musk too.
Okay.
And I don't normally like patchouli, but I really like Sven's patchouli, which is dusty and a little bit sweet. And when you get further into the dry down, that's when I pick up on that signature patchouli of his, which I really like. And also the amberyness, which I guess the tonka. It doesn't really smell like an amber fragrance. It doesn't really go sweet. I don't really pick up on resins as such, but it just slightly errs with that patchouli, a touch ambery.
Okay, and I don't get what he means by civet stroke amber, but obviously he's done something where those...
He's maybe just made an accord with the both together. And
Yeah, I get it. Sometimes perfumers describe things in ways that completely go over my head. So,
I don't get the jasmine, do you?
No, I would not have picked up on a jasmine note whatsoever, which is a note that I really like. But there's so many notes in these things, aren't there, that are in there, but they're not noticeable. And there's probably other things in there that are not listed too that you might pick up on. With all these fragrances, it's like that, isn't it?
But I can totally get the woody moss accord.
Yeah, it's got a bit
of that. The
lavender,
the patchouli. The tonka's not. The tonka's just ever so slightly in the mix in the dry down, I think. I don't expect a sweet tonka or anything like a tonka fragrance. It's just very much a supporting note, I think. Skin musks, I can kind of get that.
Like the idea of that, I don't know how a perfumer makes a skin musk accord. I don't know, but I really find that I like the idea of these. I like musk, the idea of musk.
Yeah.
And he's had a few other things, hadn't he, with kind of dirty, almost sensual, dare I say, sexual accords, wasn't it, in Suntan Glam?
Yeah.
That kind of, so I like the idea that he's got these kind of sultry, attractive elements that come from the human body type accords going on.
He has mentioned skin musks as a note in quite a few of his fragrances, and I really do get that feel, like that natural smell of skin, like not necessarily dirty, not armpit, nothing too horrible, but just that skin that's maybe been warmed up a little bit, and it's just slightly giving off the chemicals that skin does.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, I quite like the smell of my own skin. Do you ever smell, especially in the sun? You know, if you go out in the sun warms up your skin and it like pumps out a scent.
It's not an unpleasant smell.
I quite like
I know
it.
what you mean.
It's quite a comforting scent, isn't it?
I think that there are a lot of natural, actually quite okay smells that come from the human body. So that's kind of what he's captured there. So I like that interesting idea. Hard to describe and sort of come to a conclusion on this one, isn't it? I think it's really nice. I like it, but I think I want to try it some more.
Yeah, I
love it.
I'm kind of confident on my conclusion. This is not my kind of thing. And I mean, no disrespect. I don't think it's bad. It's just not my style of fragrance. It's not a white floral. It's not a gourmand. It's not... Fougere's just not my style. But I think it's an interesting Fougere. I think it's one, if you love lavender, I think it's one to explore. If you love a Fougere, if you like a masculine, modern sort of green herbal fragrance, there's just a slightly different take on that genre. then it's one to try. He does do samples as well. He's got loads of different offers on his website. You can buy a bunch of samples, like 10 samples, pick the ones that you want, or you can just buy the individual samples. You can just buy the travel size if you want. So there's all sorts of options, and he does free shipping if you spend €50 or more as well. So I think it's I think value-wise with SP Parfums, I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think you get something very unique and special, and I kind of like the sort of simple but charming bottle designs, which I guess handwritten on by him, the man himself. Can I just mention the other one that has some similarities in the style, because I think it's probably worth mentioning.
Go for it.
So here it is, and this one is called Lignum Vitae Forte. So I've had this a couple of years now. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I think he described it as very Fougere or something in his description. So it had a lot of that kind of barbershop shaving foam vibe, but I think very different kind of fragrance.
Completely
much sort of
different.
More earthy and rich.
Darker.
Yes, darker is probably a good way of putting it, as the juice suggests.
Not really lavender.
I love this. I think this is a really incredible, bit more of a bang in your face wow factor fragrance. Very much, again, my thing, not yours.
Yeah, isn't it? But I probably actually prefer that.
Oh, okay.
I think. But this is darker. It's making me think of a big pile of autumn dried leaves. Really sort of dark, earthy, but kind of natural.
Really potent, interesting. So I think it's got Nagamotha cypriol
Has it got
oil.
Nardus? I know
Yes,
we use Nardus
yes.
in some of
Do
his
you know
things.
what that is?
I can't remember what it is now. It's
Okay.
it's quite a special ingredient though, from what he said.
It's got it's a sort of certain exoticism, a darkness, and a very earthy, rich, woody thing. And I think it got a really high rating from Luca Turin. I'm not sure if it's in any of his books, but on his blog or something, where he actually reviewed it and said it's really good. So you might also, if you're an old school men's fragrance fan, want to think about checking that one out too.
If you're gonna get if you're gonna try the Fougere Intense, you may as well try that as well. To see, you might prefer one over the other. So
there's some similarities in who it's kind of going to appeal to, but they're pretty different. So Fougere Intense, you find it a very interesting take, but on a genre that you don't.
It's not my genre.
Okay.
So but if someone wore it around me, I'd say that they definitely smelt good.
I think it's really, really interesting, as he says, neo Fougere, like the lavender in there, the skin musk thing. I think could be one that you could. I want to try it out a bit more, so maybe I'll have to. I'll keep hold of it. You
keep it, because I'm not going to wear it.
Yeah.
So it's. I'm not going to lie. It's not my genre. I would be an idiot to sit here and say, "Oh, I love it. I'm going to wear it all the time."
Of course,
it's not my style.
No, and much as fragrances are not necessarily gendered, I guess that is going to be thought of as a men's type fragrance by many people. So I'm going to keep hold of it. I'm happy to wear it. I've enjoyed wearing it a couple of times, and you may see it on my channel too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe it'll make some sort of list.
It could do.
Have you done the best Fougere list yet?
I've done a few of those.
Have you?
This is, it's been a while. So, or there's an autumn niche list. I don't know if it's not really autumnal specifically though, is it? But I am going to make some videos about unusual Fougeres. So this could definitely feature in that. Or
an animalic video.
Yeah.
Even.
An animalic note is always fun and always controversial, and this definitely has one.
Yeah.
So that will be real civet, because it's animal friendly, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a synthetic civet, which is mostly what civet is in fragrances.
Most perfumers use synthetics most of the time.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on the channel, although we're in my flat today, as you may be able to tell.
Yes. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in another video.
See you soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.